Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Ooh, how are we all doing here on this chilly Monday morning, shall we say? Chilly for some people. I wish I was there at that beach, guys, but unfortunately, I am not. I'm here in my room. Good to see you guys. Good morning. It is Monday morning. It is the 27th of October, 2025. It is 11 a.m. UK time. We are dual streaming live on youtube.com/Reganelite and on twitch.tv/Reganelite1. For those outside the UK and wondering, hey, wait a minute, this isn't 11 o'clock, or the time is different. The clock's changed over the weekend, so that's why for some people outside it might wonder why the time is a little bit off. There, I can't remember if we went back an hour or went forward, but either way, I don't like the changing of the. I don't like it personally. I hate it because it means we have less sunlight to deal with, because sunlight comes up at like 5 o'clock in the morning or something for some people. There are times that I would go to work in the dark and come out of work in the dark, and I hated that. I hated that, and I think it's. I think it should not have been changed, but that's just me personally. But anywho. I just want to say thank you, Alistair Keir, for the £2 super chat just to get started things off. All hell the DPR. Thank you so much for your support for the Democratic Penguins Republic. We need to find another video for the DPR. That should be on my priority list. Someone needs to remind me. If I get a chance, someone remind me to have a look for a new Democratic Penguins Republic video if I can find one. And also thank you for being a member for 22 months. Wow, that's such a long time you've been a supporter. Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate everything you do, not just for me, not just for your support as a moderator and the contributions you've given to me, but also what you do to many other YouTube channels out there. You know, there's many YouTubers who greatly appreciate your support, Alistair. Not just here, of course. So a lot of us really appreciate your help. Really, really do. Stephen Banker, good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Ellie, there I see in the chat as well. Janet is only here for a very short time. That's fine. We've all got things to do. So don't. If you need to go. Don't worry. It's all good. Appreciate you popping in nonetheless. Scott Hayes, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Good morning, Reg. Hope you are doing well. Indie Duck Melly, good to see you there. It was nice to have you. Nice. I don't know. It's nice to see you on the games night as well. As well on games night on Saturday. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on games night. Won't be there next Saturday, but hopefully the weekend after. For those who don't know, group of us come on Discord on Saturday evening at 8 o'clock not 8 o'clock, from 8:30, about 9 o'clock, yeah, for a couple of hours. We have a bunch of Jackbox games on games night on Discord. Anyone interested in checking that out and joining the gang there for some fun? Link for Discord's in the description. Good morning, Peter. Hope you are doing well. Russell Cannon, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well as well. And I see Genie Bottle is there as well. And anybody else lurking, hope you guys are doing well. Right. Let's just quickly run down. For those who are new, don't know how this show goes, we go about an hour till about 12 o'clock. I'll give you guys a daily quota. We have a look at the weather, or what's going to be happening in the next couple of days. And then we'll have a look at some of the news that's happening. We're going to look at some news from the UK. We're going to look at some world news. We're going to be looking at Sky News, Associated Press, Independent, Al Jazeera, Guardian, African News, and maybe a couple more depending on how we go. But we always stop at 12 o'clock, just for reference there, guys. So here is today's daily quota. Here it is. I always show it to you guys so you know that I don't make them up. It's not just coming out. It's not just me making them up as I go along. However, if you want to know ones that I make up on going along, there's an Instagram page called instagram.com/Reganelite. And that one is specifically for quotes that I do. And I post them on a daily basis, nearly daily basis. There. Do check it out. If you have an Instagram account, it's not political. It's just me posting quotes as well. So do check that out there. Rosemary, good to see you there as well. I hope you are doing well. So here is today's daily quota from Joyce. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. Believe in yourself and all that you are. And know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. You know, for a Monday morning, guys, I think, yeah, we all need a bit of an uplift there. So I hope that did uplift your spirits, guys. So, yeah, very nice one there. That's a good one, tomorrow. Tomorrow's one's a very nice one as well. I like tomorrow's one. And just a reminder, guys, on the weekends, if you can't see the daily quotas, I post, because I don't do a live stream, you can always check them out on my social medias, which I post on a daily basis, including on Discord. Right, let's go straight into the weather, guys, and let's see what's happening with the weather at the moment here. Sorry, I like to do that. Okay, here is today. Today is a Monday, as we can see here. I'm just going to scroll it back a little bit here. This is what the weather's like, roughly around about what it is right now, about in the next hour or so here, 12 o'clock here. But I'm just going to pull it a bit more forward so we can see what's going to be expected a bit later on here, even late into the evenings here. But we can see here for Monday, about 6 o'clock in the evening is what the BBC weather map is kind of saying to us right now. Down in Spain, Madrid 15, Lisbon 21. Still good temperatures in Lisbon. Can't go wrong with that. Rome 16, Nice 18, Zagreb a chilly 9, Budapest and 10 there. Vienna 9, chilly 9, Prague 9, Bern 9, and you can see the snow. You can see the snow there on the top there as well. Warsaw 7, Kiev 8, Berlin 8 there. Paris there at 12 degrees. Oslo there a very chilly 5 degrees there. Iceland, Reykjavik, a chilly 1 degrees, as you would expect, this time of year. Very, very cold there. Got to be careful up there as well. And we can see the temperatures right now for later on today is what we're going to be expecting here. London, 11, Cardiff, 10, Manchester, 9, Dublin and Belfast, 11 and 9, respectively there. And Edinburgh, a chilly 6. We'll have a quick look in the rest of it in the moment. Peter, thank you so much for the £5 super chat. For a pair of gloves to match your beanie. Mind you, I do have I like fingerless gloves. I need to dig up my fingerless gloves and wear them more often because they'll keep my hands warm. I actually got thermal socks on under my own socks just to help things because I do have every now and then we do it's only been yesterday we've put that on the heating was the first time we put on the heating. I don't have the heating on now because I don't want the heating on. Because I want to avoid using the heating as much as we possibly can, guys. Yeah, I do have fingerless gloves. I need to dig out and start wearing them just to keep my my hands warm. Thank you so much for the £5 super chat. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I do need to do that. Thank you. If we just scroll back a little bit here, we can see. Oh, can we do it? I'm just trying to find the right screen here to see all of it there. Yeah, let's have a quick look and see what some of the temperatures are a bit closer here. So we also got some showers that look like are going to be forecast as well. Very chilly later on today. Maximum temperatures looks like, excuse me, about 10, 11 degrees there from the looks of it there. And you can see some scattered showers going to be around down in the southwest of southeast of England, southwest, sorry, here and south of Wales. There's some scattered showers, still 10 at 12 degrees, 13, one or two parts as well, but mainly chilly, cold, as you expect around this time of season. It's pretty much what we expect here. 7, 8 degrees. Again, temperatures here very, very chilly here. But as we go further up from the north of England into the south of Scotland here, you can see there's this shower head that's going to be looking like it's going to be coming overnight from the looks of it here. You can see here really cold, 5, 6 degrees in some parts. Again, this is something for our friends up in Scotland would expect. Here at Fort Williams, a chilly 4 there, Barmere 1, Aberdeen 5, Stonehaven 5, Inverness 3 there. Yeah, some very cold temperatures, but again, it is something you guys are expecting. Take the usual precautions that you need to take, as expected there. Snow fell on the camel runs on Saturday and Sunday night. It's oh god, what's wrong with my voice today? Might have been because I did some recording this morning. Let's scroll through just to see how it does overnight. I'm assuming, yeah. So overnight, pretty much from Monday evening. So if you are working Monday evening, guys, just be careful, especially up in Scotland and in the northern parts of England. You actually see there's looks like some potential snowfall as well. There, some parts of Wales and north of England are going to get some showers, but looks like where I am is going to avoid it. Some scattered showers are obviously going to be going through on Ireland as well, but going overnight into the next day, over midnight there, you can see temperatures still very chilly there, but looks like they're going to actually a bit not too bad actually. Look, if that's what the temperatures are saying, 12 degrees, that could have been a lot, not too bad actually, to be fair there. Good morning, person in person 8. I hope you are doing well. We just move into the next day here for tomorrow. It looks like temperatures don't look too bad here. 14 degrees maximum temperature in London. Edinburgh increasing a little bit to 11 there. But looks like that rain is going to clear up mostly in the... Looks like the rain will clear up mainly in the afternoon from the looks of it. Some scattered showers here and there, but nothing too serious there. But yeah, looks like some possible high winds coming there in some parts there as well. If we're just going to go and have a quick look into Wednesday here and see. Here again, yeah, there's going to be some yeah, overnight overnight Tuesday into Wednesday there. Temperatures are dipping again, 6 degrees, 7, 8, 9 degrees. London 12, Cardiff 11 there. There's still some scattered showers, some snowfall as well expected in parts as well there. But yeah, you can see there some snow real expected a bit further up there. But temperatures for Wednesday, lows 6 degrees. London's still staying around the same temperatures. And just quickly have a quick glance at Thursday there. There's a big storm we can see out there on Thursday. Is that going to be coming into us over the weekend on Friday? Yes. So this might be the storm that they were talking about on the news. Dave McGuinness touched on that. So this is the storm that's going to be coming Friday. Looks like it's going to be, when's it going to hit? Pretty much late Thursday evening into overnight on Friday morning is what that storm is going to be there. So just bear that in mind, guys. Thursday, Fridays, we're expecting some kind of storm there. But overall, chilly as expected. Chilly as expected. Hopefully not too bad winds there. But we'll keep up to date with it as the week goes along. Right, let's get started with the news. We'll start with Sky News here for a change. I'll switch it up a little bit, guys, for you guys. Here, so what have they got in front of Sky News under politics? Minister blames Tories as Home Office found to be incompetent and chaos here. What are they saying here? Parliamentary report has sharply criticised the Home Office management of the asylum system that has led to billions of pounds being wasted. I think, I'm going to be honest, I don't think any of us needed a report to tell us that billions of pounds have been of taxpayer-funded money has been wasted here. I think we kind of expected that with the Conservatives. When you had the likes of Priti Patel and Suella Braverman saying that, and other Conservative, former Conservative Home Secretaries, the language that they were using, the rhetoric that they were using, and it doesn't surprise me that so much taxpayer money was wasted. I think obviously Rwanda would obviously play a factor into that as well. Let's have a look at the Post. So billions of pounds have been wasted by the Home Office and asylum hotels and flawed contracts and incompetent delivery. A committee of MPs have said the department was not able to cope with a surge in demand and also relied on the hotels as go-to solutions rather than temporary measures, the Home Office Select Committee has said. The expected cost of the accommodation contracts for 2019-2029 have recently tripled from 4.5 billion to 15.3 billion pounds. 15 billion pounds, guys. The Home Office is accused of having failed to keep costs down and underutilised mechanisms to penalise providers for poor performance and reclaim excessive profits. The humidifier is making so much noise. I'm going to turn it off, guys. Don't know why I was making that whizzing noise. I'll put it on later. Yeah, far too noisy. The report highlighted how the department neglected its day-to-day management of the contracts and has not sufficiently ordered financial penalties for providers who have poor performance. This is the Conservatives just kind of letting them get away with all this as well. This includes no fines or failures at hotels at the large accommodation sites at Nain Palm, Barracks and Wexfield, despite hotels making up more than 75% of spending on asylum accommodation. And we know that people have been treated poorly because there's been a lot of people. There have been people who have been silenced, not allowed to talk about their incidents at the time as well. I don't know what the situation is for the how they're treated now, but we know that a lot of migrants were also told to keep quiet because if they did, their application could be put at risk as well. So a lot of them were threatened into being silent as well. Furthermore, excess profits at providers totaling tens of millions of pounds owned to the Home Office yet to be reclaimed by the department. 10-year contract to Tory mates from the Tory government. 10 years. 10 years, yeah. We did a report into the reporting on the report we did last year, says Ginny Bolt. Yeah. Well, Labour were going to look up on everything anyway, to be fair. Labour were going to look up on everything, on that, you know. System is foul, chaotic and expensive, not a surprise. Committee said Home Office failed. Agreed to engage with communities that has led to missed opportunities to address local concerns. Yeah, this is another thing that really triggered me as well. They just dumped them in any hotels and they didn't care about the consequences and people who they would upset as well. They just literally put them in there and not even engaging with the councils or communities. But, however, we also know that a lot of those councils would have said no, even if they didn't consult them anyway. So, wherever they were going to put them, someone somewhere was going to get upset. Mutty, good morning to you. Hope you are doing well. That's why this is why we'll close every single assignment hotel, saving the taxpayer billions of pounds. I mean, again, like, I don't know if it will or not, but time will tell whether it will or not. The Green Party has called on this morning for the Home Office to be broken up so that the migration system can be functional and fair. Party joins the call by Dan Karen Brady, whose committee penned the report that found the Simons conversation failed. Greens Deputy Leader Rachel Millward said that the descriptor of the Home Office also applies just as fittingly as the Home Office as a whole, which has spent decades wasting taxpayer money in destructive pursuit of the most hostile migration system possible. She said this is just one in a litany of reports which lays bare the Home Office dysfunction, in this case allowing private companies to make obscene profit while vulnerable people are put at risk and community tensions are racked up to a breaking point. She's absolutely 100% right. We know that these private companies they get contracts, as was pointed out in the chat. They get these private contracts from the government, right? They get paid a huge amount of money, and they use as little money from that contract as possible to go towards the work that they're supposed to be doing in looking after housing and looking after asylum the asylum seekers, as little money as possible, so that they can maximize the most profit they take from taxpayers' money, rather than that money actually supposed to be using to help these people. We know that's been happening. We've talked about this years ago under the Conservatives. If we are to, I was reading that. If we are to function as a fair migration system, the Home Office must be broken up so that the migration can be dealt with by a department designed to make the system work, not simply project a hardline stance to the public, no matter the cost to the taxpayer and the impact on migrants. And these migrant workers, if their application is successful, can be found to be a working contribution to society and help grow our economy, which they keep banging on about, Labour. Former Bank of England governor criticised a potential mansion tax. What? Ministers are guilty of writing up plans on. Former Bank of England governor criticised potential proposals for a mansion tax, saying the government lacks a cohesive strategy on the economy. That he could not identify an economic plan from the government, and that adding another wealth tax would not solve the problem with the country's finances. There's plenty of scope for reforming the tax system. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen the characters just look at tax system for almost 40 years. The Man on Sunday reported that one proposal being considered was a mansion tax, which would hit owners of properties with an annual charge of 1% of the amount, which is assessed at £2 million, meaning a £10,000 a year levy for homes worth £3 million. Lord King said property taxes aren't an interaction between stamp duty, council tax, capital gains tax, and inheritance tax. You don't solve that problem by just adding another wealth tax to it. You need the thing that sticks out to me is leveling that. Like, I'm not a tax expert. I just want to say this now, right? But leveling capital gains tax, leveling capital gains tax with income tax would be one way of definitely helping balance the budgets. I'm not keen on, like, I want to see the wealthy pay more tax, right, guys? But do I want to see another form of tax put on the richest people? I don't think that's how. I feel like you're creating, because if you're creating another tax, right, that means that tax, like every other tax, needs to be managed by HMRC, right? So you've got all these different taxes, yeah, that has to be managed, right? And it feels like to me adding another one rather than adjusting some of the ones that we have to gain the money that you need to fill your so-called black hole makes more logical sense to me here. I'm not against the mansion tax at all here, but I just feel like is that really Labour are going here, just to try because I feel like this is something that Labour are doing to appeal to Green voters who have turned their backs on the party, which I think is from that perspective I get. But I feel like they could target other places as well. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, we still got literally a month before the budget, which is ridiculous. What amuses me is that people are so afraid of spiders on the island. We have no dangerous species, so the fear is really irrational, says One Good Pagan. Good to see you there, my friend. Hope you are doing well. I don't do spiders, says Indie Duck. I'm not a fan of spiders personally, but I have one literally up in the corner there. It doesn't bother me, to be fair, as long as he stays up there, not around my computer, you'll be fine. As long as they stay out of the way. That's how I see it. Billions of pounds wasted. We just talked about that. This is an interesting story. very keen to hear more. I don't know enough about this one, but yeah, I learned about this morning. So a British commentator has been detained by ICE after Israel criticism on the US book tour. So the Conservative figure has been urging the Trump administration to expel Sami Hamdi from the United States. British commentator Sami Hamdi has been detained by US immigration, who has revoked his visa and banned him from competing speaking tour, a Homeland Security official had said. So ICE has handed Mr. Hamdi in custody, DHS spokesperson Tricia McClellan posted on social media site X. And the President Trump, who supports those who support terrorism and undermine American national security, will not be allowed to work or visit this country, she wrote. The individual visa was revoked and he was in ICE custody pending removal. He spoke at a gala for the Council on American Islamic Relations, the CAIR, in Sacramento, California on Saturday, and was scheduled to speak on Sunday at one of the group's events in Florida, the organization said in a statement. CAIR said he was detained at San Francisco International Airport. Conservative figures have been urging the Trump administration to expel Hamdi from the U.S. He is a managing director at the International Interest, a global risk and intelligence company. He appeared as an analyst and a commentator on British TV networks, including Sky News. He called for his release and accused the Trump administration of detaining him over his criticism of the Israeli government. This is freedom being suppressed being here from the looks of it. Aston, thank you for another £2 super chat. Just as one less to get the goal done. Yeah, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Abducting a prominent British Muslim journalist, potential commentator on a speaking tour in the US because he dared to criticise the Israeli government's genocide as a blatant affront to free speech, CAIR said in a statement. Yeah, it is. Since January, Trump administration has pursued a sweeping crackdown on immigration, including increasing social media vetting, revoking visas for people it claims praised the murder, and it claimed he praised the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Do you have any source for this? I'm going to say probably not. And deporting student visas and green card holders who have voted support for Palestinians and criticised Israel's conduct in the Gaza war. Israel's offensive in Gaza, we know about that. Israel says it's offensive, use of mass killings. UN Commission inquiry last month accused that Israel committed genocide, denies it. Sky News has contacted Foreign Commonwealth Development Office about his detention. So basically, he's doing his free speech, speaking out in the US, and has been denied. That's essentially what it is. Woman claiming to be Madeleine McCann expected to give evidence in stalking trial. Claiming to be Madeleine McCann. Claiming. We're protecting UK from our paralysing attacks, and our salaries can be limitless. A family boy thrown from Tate Modern said he's running, jumping and swimming. What? Don't think I want to click on that story, to be fair. Right. These are some of the stories from Sky News. Let's cross over to the pond and see what the Associated Press is saying for us, guys. Live updates. Trump arrives in Japan as US-China trade links deals draws closer. I'm sure Donnie is not a big fan of the time changes. US future jumps and world shares are mixed as Trump says he expects a trade deal with China. Oh my God! Like he's proper effing about with the markets. He is. For Japan's new leader, the key to connecting with Trump could be a Ford F-50 truck. Oh, is that what they're going to do? They're going to bribe him with a truck, yeah? China's C-19 jet forces turbulent skies as US-China trade tensions add to the delay. Trump administration posts notice that no federal food aid will go out on November the 1st. Wow. You're going to kill so many Americans. You're going to starve them. So many Americans are going to starve. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has posted a notice on its website saying federal food aid will not go out on November the 1st, raising the stakes for families nationwide as the government shutdown drags along. The new notice comes after the Trump administration said it would not tap roughly $5 billion in contingency funds to keep benefits through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, commonly referred to as SNAP. Flowing into November, now programs help about 1 in 8 Americans buy groceries. The bottom line that the well has run dry, the UNDA notice said. At this time, there will be no benefits issued on the 1st of November. We are approaching an inflection point for Senate Democrats. The shutdown, which began on October the 1st, is now the second longest on record, while the Republican administration took steps leading up to the shutdown to ensure SNAP benefits were paid this month. The cutoff would expand the impact on the impasse to a wider swathe of Americans, and some of those most in need, unless a political resolution is found within a few days. The administration blames Democrats, who say they will not agree to reopen the government until Republicans negotiate them on extending expiring subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. Republicans say Democrats must first agree to reopen the government before negotiations. No, this is where the Democrats must stay strong. They must not agree. They must not open the. Look, I know that. Look, here's what I'm going to say. I know the shutdown is going to kill Americans, right? But the demands that the Republicans are asking for are too great, are far too great on the American people, and people need to understand that. I know there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger going towards the Democrats right now because of their refusal, especially union workers, because of what's happening, and I understand that frustration. I really, really do. But the Republicans have no intention of moving their position. If the Democrats move on their positions, it will put more Americans will be far worse off than what Americans are going through right now, and what they're going to be going off right now if they move positions on it. I think the Democrats are right to hold their position. I think it would be a mistake to bow to pressure from unions on this matter because all you're doing is delaying all you're doing is just making things worse for Americans. I know that there are workers out there who are going to suffer. It's not right that any Americans should suffer. But the anger should not be at the Democrats. The anger should be at the Republicans. At the end of the day, they're the ones who are in control of all this. Lawmakers have written to Agriculture Secretary Brooklyn Royal requesting contingency funds on the next bill for next month benefits. Nope. But USDA memo said on Surface Friday said contingency funds are not legally available to cover such benefits. Document said the money is reserved for such things such as helping people in disaster areas. I get why people are angry with the Democrats for not moving their position, but it's the Republicans who need to move position on it. Japan sushi legend Joro Ono turns 100 years old and he's not ready for retirement. Wow. You ever going to take out that pension then? Man fleeing immigration agents is fatally struck by a vehicle on a Virginia highway. Oh my God. Conflicting accounts emerge after UN peacekeepers shoot down an Israeli drone. The Israeli army and the United Nations peacekeeping mission in southern Lebanon said peacekeepers shot down an Israeli drone over the weekend, but gave conflicting statements about the circumstances. Israel's heroic spokesperson said on Monday that while the drone was nearing peacekeeping forces in southern routine reconnaissance activity did not fire at peacekeeping troops. After the drone was shot down, Defense Army forces threw a hand grenade in the area where the drone was downed. UNISOL, however, sent a statement that the Israeli drone had thrown over UNISOL patrol in an aggressive manner. What does that mean? And the peacekeepers applied necessary defensive countermeasures to neutralize it. An Israeli drone dropped a grenade near the peacekeeper. It said shortly after that an Israeli drone dropped a grenade near the peacekeeping mission and that Israeli tanks fired towards them. Those peacekeepers were wounded. Yeah, why did I have a feeling that? What? On what grounds did they need to fire at Did they need to fire at peacekeepers? Bloody hell! Ridiculous. I've got a short video on this, but on this one. Ireland's president-elect is a left-wing anti-establishment figure who is outspoken in Gaza. Yeah, so very interesting. Kathleen Connolly, 68, secures 63% of the vote in a landslide election victory. Politician won after Ireland's left-leaning opposition party, including Sinn Féin, united to back her, and she's expected to be a voice unafraid to challenge Ireland's centre-right government. She's not shielded away from criticism over Israel over the war in Gaza. Very interesting to see how she does, to be fair. I'm not covering too much of it because I've done a short video on this anyway, but like I said, it'll be very interesting to see how she does in the role, guys. No worries, Janet. Thanks for popping in. Appreciate it. Empires have emperors, kingdoms have kings, countries have presidents. I would have thought. No, that's what I thought would have been. Maddie is dead. Her parents OD'd her and hid her body. We don't know the full story, Matty. there's too many conflicting stories. I can't stand that story anymore because there's far too many conflicting stories. It's just for me. I just like it bothers me. It's just annoying to me now because I feel like too many people are trying to take advantage of the case rather than actually trying to solve it. I don't think anyone's serious about solving the case. You know, I've long come to this conclusion that anybody involved in the case is not actually interested in solving the case. Too many people are trying to score political points or benefit themselves and whatnot. U.S. warship dock in Trinidad and Tobago putting more pressure on Venezuela. U.S. warship docked in there on Sunday. The president accused Morado of outproviding efforts to be leader. Yeah. So is that the only thing to the story? Just adding to the story that they've got a warship in Trinidad and Tobago. Okay. We know that they have a fleet out there in the Caribbean. Navy loses 2 aircraft from USS Nimble's aircraft carrier within 30 minutes. How did that happen? It's another short story I'll cover, but I'll talk about it here with you guys. Mendy triumphs in Argentina midterm elections, closely watched by Washington. Now, there's a poll going to come out over the week, guys, and it's going to ask the question here. And you guys can give your answers here right now if you think. Did Donald Trump promising a financial bailout to Mendy and his government, did that contribute to his victory in this midterm elections? We're going off the fact that we don't know a lot about Argentine elections. We know that he's imposing austerity and he's trying to really, really change things that I really do struggle with where they're going. But did Trump's bailout make a difference? Did he directly influence the outcome of this midterm elections? I guess that's the question, is what the poll is asking here. So, President Javier Mendy won the decisive victory in key districts in the midterm elections on Sunday, clinching a crucial vote of confidence that strengthens his ability to carry out his radical free market experiment, with billions of dollars in backing from the Trump administration. In the election widely seen as a referendum on Mendy's past 2 years in office, the upstart La Liberals Alavisca party, I know I mispronounced it, scored over 40% of the votes, compared with 31% for the left-leaning populist movement, known as Proton, exceeding analysis projections. He's a key ally of US Donald Trump, and his party and allied blocs picked up 14 seats in the Senate and 64 in the lower house of Congress on Sunday, bolstering his government support in the legislature enough to uphold presidential votes and block impeachment efforts. The headquarters late on Sunday, downtown Buenos Aires, are beaming how the election sweep is a mandate to press forward with his spending cuts and introduce an ambitious tax and labour reforms. The result has also automatically positioned him as a candidate for re-election in 2027. Yeah, he looks like he's going to be going to look there. The Argentine people have decided to leave behind 100 years of delinquence, he said, and his supporters cheered, referring to the successor pensionist governments that have brought Argentina infamy for its infaming spirals of sovereign debt defaults. Today, we have passed a turning point. Today begins the construction of a great Argentina. High stakes, including $40 billion from the US. Trump appeared to condition the £20 billion current swap deal with Argentina's central bank and an additional $20 billion loan from its private banks on good showing from Mendy and national midterms, threatening to rescind the assistance to the cash-strapped country in the event of a pessimist victory. Yeah, this is US influence here. Yeah, that's what he said. If he wins, we're staying with him. If he doesn't win, we're gone, Trump said. Those constituency comments add to mounting pressure on Mendy, who has scrambled to avert currency crisis since the opposition won the landslide victory in Buenos Aires provincial polls last month. Argentina's bonds and currencies nosedived as markets sensed that the public was losing patience with Mendy's reform and that the midterm race would be tight. Stem the run on the peso, Mendy burned through billions of dollars in foreign exchange reserves to shore up the peso. In extraordinary moves, the US Treasury came to the rescue, selling dollars to help meet soaring demands for greenback and financial credit line. In the end, his alliance performing poorly, underscoring how weak the once dominant movement has become in the Mendy era. Largely as a result of internal divisions, markets were widely expected to rally on Monday. For foreign investors, this outcome is a relief because it shows that the Mendy program can be sustainable. It leaves the opposition weakened and fragmented, just as it was when Mendy won the presidency in December. Coalition struggled to channel rising public anger with Mendy's painful austerity measures into a new political strategy while delivering the economic shambles that saw the Texas chore-wheeling ouster inherit in late 2023. Trump, while on his way to Japan on Monday, and Truth Social said Mendy was doing a wonderful job Our confidence was justified by the people of Argentina, just Trump wrote. And then calling him a great friend, yada, yada, yada. 40% of the electorate. Yeah, 40%. 14 points, percentage points there as well. He warned that billions of dollars in US financial trade from US Treasury and investment banks would do nothing to help ordinary Argentines squeezed by Mendy's cuts to subsidies and force out businesses by contracting the economy. We want to make it clear that neither US government nor JP Morgan or charitable societies said if they come to Argentina, it is for nothing other than to take a profit. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not feeling very confident. Yeah, risks remain. I think I might touch on this story a bit more tomorrow as well. It is I am concerned about the Argentine people. If it's true, they may need to do a rant video about the French. Yes, Regan, I think so. Yes, I think it was, in my opinion. $40 billion US in the China soybean contract. Sorry, US farmers tried ace traders. Yeah, it is true. The French are blocking us from European Defence Fund, one Ingrid Pagan says. I haven't seen that story, my friend. All right, let's switch gears. Let's have a look at another. Let's see what other stories there are out there, guys. Let's have a look at the Independent here. Reeves gives biggest hint yet of tax rises in the budget. The release of sex offenders is a sign of a broken system, minister says. So this happened on Monday. This story here. The accidental release of the migrant sex offender is a sign of a broken justice system, minister says. Steve Reeder called for the criminal justice system to be rebuilt from the bottom up after the mistaken release of Hazu Kipu, who was in prison for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. The please pause, thank you. The accidental release of the migrant sex offender from a prison is a sign that the UK justice system is broken, the minister has said. Steve Reed's called for the criminal justice system to be rebuilt from the bottom up after the mistaken release of Hajiz Kibu, who was in prison for sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl. This was the Epin case, guys, for those who don't know. The Ethiopian national was jailed for 12 months in September for the offence and was wrongly freed by HMP Chelmsford on Friday morning instead of being sent to an immigration detention centre, an incident that sparked widespread condemnation. Speaking to Sky News, he had, this individual has no right to be in the country in the first place, let alone commit this kind of offences we had. I'm sure everybody else just wants to see here there. He was arrested on Sunday morning in Finsbury Park after a 2-day manhunt. Okay, so they found him after 2 days. Blaming the debacle on the previous Tory government. I don't know if we can blame it on. I don't know if you can blame this incident on the Tory government. Yes, I understand things take time to get fixed, but let me say this: like people who are running these kind of things, their questions need to be asked about these about those who are running these things. Like those who are running that prison, questions need to be asked. I think someone's head needs to roll as well, because the decision to let him out, even if it's a mistake, right? The decision to let him out plays into the hands of the reform of the right-wing rhetoric, because it gives them carte blanche to basically say, see, they don't care about child sex offenders. See, they want to let them out. They want to let migrants out. They want to welcome them into our countries and all that kind of stuff. Plays into their hands. This mistake played into their hands. This error. I mean, yes, he's been picked back up again, but they just need to get him deported now. They just need to get him deported. Billy Kershaw, good to see you there. I hope you are doing well. Release of sex offenders, sign of broken system. Starmer urged to stop a mansion tax plan before budget. Streeting blasts Farage silence over racist remarks from Reform MP. Yeah, that's not a surprise. Of course, he's not going to say anything about it until he has a meeting. He's just going to brush it off in some way, shape, or form. Pressure on Starmer as Labour elects a SAC critic to be deputy leader. Yep. Be interesting to see how she does. Anything else here? Reform MP apologises for completely unacceptable comments. US warship docks in Trinidad and Tobago. Let's have a look at the front of UK. See any other stories interesting. Not interested in the slightest in Prince Andrew. We can give our time much better than him. Man dies after driving wrong way along the M6 motorway. Was he drunk? Closing the car with 2 male passengers What was he doing driving? What was he doing driving on the wrong side of the road? The hospitalized serious injuries. For with loved ones. Yeah, actually, sorry. Condolences to loved ones. Just seeing if it's anything to do with alcohol. Can't see anything relating to it. No, doesn't say. Okay, they don't have enough news on it. Enough on it at the moment. A digital ID plan could be jeopardised by Irish jobs agreement. Oh. Political parties in Northern Ireland criticise the plans to introduce mandatory digital ID for workers. Yeah. Could jeopardise the long-standing government arrangement allowing Irish citizens to freely work in the UK, according to reports. Under the Commons travel arrangement, British and Irish citizens can live and work in their Irish judicial having to obtain permission. The new digital ID will be mandatory to prove your right to work in the UK by 2029, the government has pledged. The scheme has already been heavily criticised by parties in Northern Ireland, saying that her party will resist any attempts to force Irish citizens in Northern Ireland to get digital ID. She called the digital ID plan a ludicrous proposition, adding that the rights of citizens in the North to identify as Irish were enshrined in the Good Friday Agreement. New Home Office officials told the Times that the scheme will not work. Now Home Office officials have told the Times that the scheme will not work because of the UK's obligations under the CTA. This is Home Office officials have now said. Plan is also opposed by the DUP. British Irish Chamber of Commerce said the plan would present serious challenges. Yeah, so it's how could it work alongside the common travel area, which grants reciprocal rights for Irish and UK citizens to live and work freely in each other's countries? This is not clear at all. Ireland does not have any mandatory equivalent ID that could even be proposed for a reciprocal reconciliation. Home Office officials have said the digital ID plans will be impossible to implement unless there is a change in the CTA agreement, as Times has reported. An exemption for Irish citizens would not be acceptable, as it would effectively put them in a better position than British citizens, which would be discriminatory assault, told the paper. Yeah, of course. Oh, you shot yourself in the foot here, Keir Starmer, with this one. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. He said he's in consultation with the Irish government on the introduction of the ID cards. I'm sure it will not be beyond the wit of all of us to find a way to uphold the Good Friday Agreement, Commons travel area that moves in the direction of digital ID. When was this story out? When was the story? Just curious. I'm just curious. Today, this morning. How are they gonna get themselves out of this hole, guys? How are they gonna get themselves out of this hole? Family of schoolgirl assaulted by migrants speaking out on a prison blunder. And that's all we got for the Independent. Not a lot there. Not a lot there. Let's have a look at see what Al Jazeera is saying today, guys. They should send Andrew to his second home, Epstein's Island, says Peter M. As long as you empty his bank account first, so it can come back to the taxpayer first, if that's okay. If things were revealed, you could bet the Farage would do the same in reversal. So as a lot of our kits, it's just joint America's a person impersonator. Yep. Bloody, they know now, Damien McGuinness, Max, they were saying 2-3 weeks ago, if I remember rightly. It's like Brexit, They're like, oh, what about Northern Ireland? Oh, we didn't think about Northern Ireland. Oh, yeah, just so you know, Northern Ireland's part of the UK as well. You do know that, right? Once again, they're being ignored. Al Jazeera here. Mali shuts school as fuel blockage imposed by fires paralyses the country. No. The military government orders 2-week closure for schools and universities. Blockage of fuel imports declared by GMS causes further destruction. Governments announced schools and universities nationwide will be closed for 2 weeks as the landlocked country continues to suffer from the effects of crippling blockage on fuel imports imposed by an armed group in September. It says on suspension till November due to disruptions in fuel supply that are affecting the movement of school staff. He added authorities were doing everything possible to restore normal fuel supplies before school resumes on November the 10th. In a separate statement, the International Committee for Crisis and Disaster Management said restrictions placed on fuel supplies until further notice with priority given at dedicated stations to emergency assistance for public transport vehicles. It comes after 2 months after Jama al-Nusra Islam, the JNIM armed group, one of several operating in the south, declared a blockage of fuel imports from neighbouring countries. Since then, the Al Qaeda affiliate has been targeting fuel tankers coming mainly from Senegal and the Ivory Coast, though which mostly imported goods transits. They initially said the blockage was a retaliatory measure against the Malian authorities' ban on selling fuels outside stations in rural areas where fuel is transported in jerry cans to be sold later. Malian authorities said the measure was intended to cut off the GM supply lines. The blockage has squeezed Mali's fragile economy, affecting the price of commodities and transport in a country that relies on fuel imports for domestic needs. Its effects have also spread to the capital, where endless queues have stretched in front of gas stations. Yeah, so the normal people suffering as a result of this. Mali, along with neighbouring Burkina Faso and Niger, has for more than a decade battling armed groups, including some linked to Al Qaeda, as well as local rebels. Following military coups in all three countries in recent years, the new ruling authorities have expelled French forces and turned to Russian mercenary units for security assistance, which is having made little difference. Analysis says the blockage is a significant step back from Mali's military government, which defended its forceful takeover of power in 2020 as a necessary step to end long-running security crises. And how's it been there for its people in the 5 years you guys have been in charge, huh? Oh, that's right. Nothing is. Their lives haven't improved, have they? Even I don't need to look into Mali politics or Mali news to know that people's lives are not better with a military dictator in charge for military rule for 5 years. Could COVID, mRNA, and vaccines also fight cancer? I hope so. New studies reveal that vaccines developed using mRNA might hold the key to shake off cancer vaccines. The mass-produced COVID-19 vaccines built using the mRNA model, which were rapidly manufactured during the global pandemic, could also help the immune system recognize and attack cancer tumors. New studies have shown. Studies in mice analysis of medical records of cancer patients who receive mRNA shots for COVID-19 before starting immunotherapy for cancer treatment revealed that a startling pattern: the vaccine patients live significantly longer than those who have not received the shots. A team of researchers from the University of Florida and the University of Texas Anderson Cancer Center presented the results at this week at European Society of Medical Oncology Congress in Berlin and published the peer-reviewed journal Nature. The results, they say, reveal that the mRNA vaccines do not just prevent infection, they also wake up and prompt the body's immune system to fight tumours. The discoveries come at a time when US President Donald Trump's administration slashed funding for the research. Why has this been touted as groundbreaking? What does this mean for cancer patients? How did the COVID-19 pandemic become the medium for this unlikely discovery? I hope so. I hope this is something. Anything that helps us prevent cancer, stop cancer, overcome cancer, anything that don't make a difference. You know, I'm all for new trials and whatnot. You know, if this COVID vaccine potentially could be used to help prevent cancer, potentially, I think it's a great thing. So there's definitely something there. So I'm really hopeful. Women in Gaza struggle to overcome damage inflicted by Israel's war. Corruption, mismanagement, and spotlight as Iran dissolves major private bank. The bank built the largest mall in the world, but also racked up massive debts and gave loans to insiders. Authorities have merged one of Iran's largest private lenders into the country's biggest state-run bank in a move that highlights a deeply troubled economy and will further squeeze average citizens and pressure growth on the West grows. The central bank on Thursday announced that the Al-Adina Bank, privately owned by one of Iran's wealthiest families, would be dissolved and merged with the bank medley government-run national bank. And Al-Adina branches across the country will be transformed to the bank melody branches by Sunday. Customers were told their accounts and deposits are safe and all contracts remain under the same conditions, but after years of murky operations, central bank intentions has racked up losses in scales that impact Iran's macroeconomics, so its bailout will not leave Iran's unscathed. Started in 2000 amid a crisis in 2010s caused by corruption and lack of regulatory suspensions over the aligning banking systems at a time when Iran was reeling from the United Nations sanctions over its nuclear program. I don't like. You know what? I really don't like, and I would be if I'm one of these Iranians. I'd be the same as well. You know, when things like when you have like savings and whatnot and things in other parts, and you just see something change over, and you don't know about it, or you don't hear a lot about it. You're like, so what does this mean for me? And they tell you, oh, nothing's going to happen, and then something happens later on. It does. There is that question there. Hopefully, it doesn't affect Iranian citizens. I really hope it doesn't. Those who have bank accounts with them. Doesn't say it says nothing's going to change, but you can't always be 100% true on that, guys. But they know. Oh, that is already answer that. Westminster always breaking stuff, then putting it together with tape and strings. To Stephen Banker. Yep, that's true. That is true as well. I just realised we've already got 11 minutes. Wow, we've gone through quite quickly, haven't we? Japan braces for Hurricane Melissa. Melissa, how could you? Shame on you, Melissa. To see what the Palestinians in Gaza bury unrecognisable bodies returned by Israel. Israel forces demolished 2 Palestinian homes in the occupied West Bank. Yeah, because that's perfectly legal, right? Of course it's not. Israeli forces attack students in Al-Qatar occupied West Bank. Israeli military claims to stop smuggling attempts from Egypt. Oh, so is this their new take me to this. Is this their reason for not opening the Rafah crossing? Israeli troops shot down a drone which was armed 2 firearms. Oh, is this their excuse for not opening the Rafah crossing? Is this their new excuse now? Thanks sake. Thank you for that super chat, Alison. Okay, appreciate it. Let's have a look at the Guardian, see what they're saying there. Ministers, let me refresh this. Ministers assist government will get asylum seekers out of hotels and experts progress within weeks, is what they say. England and Wales prison checks to be enhanced after inmate released in error. Social landlords in England are now forced to fix emergencies within 24 hours. Good. New legal duties following a two-year-old Ashkis who died of exposure after mould in his home. The first phase of Ahmed's War, which promised to protect tenants from dangerous social housing conditions, came into force in England on Monday in memory of a 2-year-old boy who died after exposure in mould in his new home. The new legal duties compel landlords to fix emergency health and safety hazards within 24 hours of reporting, investigate significant damp and mould within 10 working days of being notified, make properties safe in 5 working days after inspection, and write the findings to tenants within 3 working days of inspections competing. If you know anyone who is a renter, guys, I mean this sincerely. If you know anyone who's a renter, make sure they know about this. Make sure they know about this. Make sure the spread is out, because landlords will not want their tenants to know about this. Please make sure people are aware of this story, guys. This is really important for their protections, yeah? Oh, thank you, Alison Keir, for another £2 super chat. All hail DPR and brothers. Yes, for our ducks, for our penguins, for our badgers. Thank you so much for your support, Alison Keir, for today's for the super chat, and thank you as well, Peter, for contributing as well. Much appreciated, guys, for supporting financially supporting the work that I do on this channel, and also for supporting the Democratic Penguins Republic. Great, appreciate it, guys. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. And as well, following campaigning from his family in Manchester Evening News. So the changes will improve the lives of tenants and families in England's 4 million social rented home. Yeah, it's just important just to get the message out there to people. People need to be aware of this, because not all tenants are going to be aware of this. Landlords who fail to comply being taken to court, issued with enforcement orders, and compelled to pay compensation and legal costs. The social reforms mean social landlords may also consider the circumstances of tenants that could put them at risk, including having young children, diet, disabilities, or health conditions. Tenants must be offered alternative accommodation if their homes cannot be made safe in the required time frame. Yeah, everyone deserves a safe and decent home to live in. Abbott is a powerful reminder of how sad these could be if the master of death. Yeah. I'm very happy this has been put into force, but again, guys, just make sure people are aware of this story. Really important. If you know anyone who's a tenant, please make sure they're aware of this story, guys. Really, really important for their well-being. Over 1,200 health leaders call for swift passage of UK tobacco and vapes bill. Do you know what? I agree. Something needs to be done. Do you know what? There was me and my partner went into the town centre yesterday for a couple of hours, and literally, like, there's already like a few vape shops I've seen around, but I literally just saw another one went up yesterday. I saw another one went up yesterday, and I was like, why? And I'm like, I think they're dodgy as hell, because like it looks so clean, so mint, their shop, and it's just like, just gives me the vibe that there's something dodgy about it, you know? Yeah, something needs to be done about it. I just think there's a lot of dodgy dealings going on in the vape industry. You know, the kind, like, some of these shops have then the shops on the outside, they look very, very nice and clean and whatnot, and it kind of just like screams to me, Something's dodgy here. No, something's very dodgy. Home Office squandering millions have failed. Yep, we talked about that story already. Let's go to the front of UK. Kate Adams said her name was dragged through the mud after BBC Scotland's suspension. Oil and gas firm Pedrofac files for administration, putting thousands of jobs at risk. North Sea contractor says that the move applies only to its ultimate holding companies and will continue to trade. It's filed for administration, putting 2,000 jobs in Scotland at risk. The energy service provider said it had applied for a High Court of England and Wales to appoint administrators after it lost an offshore wind project over its failure to meet contractual obligations. It employs about 7,300 people globally. Said the administration plans will only apply only to its ultimate holding companies, and it would continue to do trade during the process. Energy Secretary Miliband said on Monday, with its leading all parts departments to support the UK arm, which employs about 2,000 people. The business has been in financial trouble for years, having faced a serious fraud investigations, have resulted in a conviction in 2021 for failing to prevent bribery and payments for more than £100 million in penalties. Money laundering. What a surprise. And the ordinary people are facing the consequences here. The government needs to do something to help these people. Whether they will or not, that's a good question. Got about 5 minutes left. Man arrested on suspicion of racially aggravated rape in Warsaw. UK watchdog raises competition concerns over Green Core Balacor deal. AI can help authors beat writers' blogs, says Bloomsbury chief. I believe that. Got about 4 minutes left. I don't know how much. There's still so much to look at, guys. I ain't going to have time to look for it all. Just a quick reminder before we head out as well, guys. I'm going to be live again tonight at 8 o'clock if you guys want to join me for another viewpoint show. We're covering mainly UK news, so if you guys want to join me for that tonight, feel free to do so. I'll let you guys know the plan for the week as well. Preliminary election results point to another term for Otwana in the Ivory Coast election there. Dubois president votes to lift the presidential age limit. Oh, God. He's the master president. $77 to re-elect next year's to fix that the Constitution allows the current president 77 to run the next year's election. Yeah, if that's not corruption, I don't know what that is. Yeah, if that's not corruption, I don't know what that is. Protest erupts in Cameroon as opposition claims election victory. Oh God. As a result, come in yet. Hundreds of protesters took to the street. Cameroon's economic capital on Sunday responded to a nationwide call from opposition figures. Demonstrators, mostly young people, marched through major demanding that authorities acknowledge the victory in recent elections, disclose the true results of the votes expected to be officially announced today. They still haven't announced the result. In Cameroon. I've talked a little bit about this. This is something I'm going to definitely talk about tomorrow. Use suspense of crowds. Yeah. Observers warn that the situation remains volatile, fear of further confrontations. Yeah, if the current president, I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like going to be the world's oldest president. You know, he's so old, like he's going to be in his 90s if he gets it, and he's been in charge for a long time. If he's still on, like, yeah, there people, like there's definitely, there's corruption is rife in that country. Any other stories here? Nothing really too key appealing here for African news. Come out. Let's just have a quick look at the BBC here. I've got them in all over the place here. Home Office squandered billions of Hassan Hotel reform. MP's comments say adverts are racist. Racist or street team. They were racist. Sarah Potchins is basically. So those who don't know the logistics of the story, basically Sarah Potchins says that there's not enough white people in adverts. Basically is what she's saying, which I think is bollocks. I think it's very diverse. I don't see a problem with it, but I don't watch as much adverts as I used to because I have YouTube Premium, so that's something that helps me a lot. But I don't watch as much TV, so I don't personally have a problem with it, but apparently she's trying to make something there. Anything else here? Nothing really there. Let's have a look at the front of BBC. Anything here we haven't already seen? MOJ owes us 20 million after contractors collapse, says suppliers. Prisons begin extra checks. Yep, they need to. Man built up 30k of fines by dodging train fares. 30,000! 30,000! A man who ran up fines of more than 30,000 by dodging rail fares has been given a clean slate. What? Had not paid for trips between Exeter and to see his family over a 7-year period. Okay. District Justice official who lived on universal credit had got into a crazy situation. He owed. He cut the sum owed down to which covered the period of June and July. This is the clean slate. Pay for each one if you cannot afford it. Get on the train. Sorry if the door's ringing, but I'm not going to answer it now. Court was told him last week to pay the current fees. So obviously cannot continue to get a train. You have to pay for ticket. It's crazy how that situation is. You're a staggering amount of money well outside your capacity. Like, here's the thing. Like, I get this to see his family. I understand that, but yeah, you can't be fair dodging, mate. You can't be fair dodging. Cannot be doing it. Looks like I'm not going to be able to cover any other stories. I was going to look at Kiev Independent, CNA, and the Times, but we've ran out of time, I'm afraid, guys. Literally ran out of time there. So just quickly before we go, guys, just a quick reminder. I don't have a plan for Thursday evening. I am going to live stream, but I don't know what I'm going to live stream. I don't plan to have a guest. I mean, I could get a guest in for Thursday just to have a chat about stuff if I want to. Because we've had the EcoFlake show, we've had the round table, and basically, essentially, I've got a free Friday evening. So I might do a conflict series. It's been a while since we've done a live stream on one, and I think it's a really important one. We haven't talked about a lot of conflicts that have been taking place. You know, what's been happening in Haiti, more about what's happening in Sudan, what's been happening in Myanmar, other conflicts in Africa as well. Obviously, more on the war in Ukraine. I think I might do a live stream on that. I might ask one or two YouTubers to see if they're interested in coming on for a chat as well, possibly. So there will be a live stream on Thursday evening, but I just haven't decided what it will be, guys. But as for the week itself, you still got your Good Morning shows every Monday to Friday at 11 a.m. I'll be live again tonight at 8 o'clock for another Viewpoint show on UK News. I'll be live on Tuesday tomorrow at 6 o'clock as well for global news, covering news outside the UK. On Wednesday, I'll be doing a watch along on Wednesday night, which we normally do on Wednesdays, where we look at clips and whatnot from Twitter about different variety of news, UK and world there. So do join me for that as well. And I don't know when, but I am still contemplating doing like a Friday afternoon or evening live stream before or after Daily Blase's live stream. So I'm still thinking about what kind of format I would do it in. I've got a lot of other stuff I need to clear first today, over the next few days. But I'll see if I am going to probably do I will let you guys know if I do decide to do one. I probably don't know if I'll do it this Friday, but I'll let you guys know in advance anyway. But I just want to say thank you guys all for coming along. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you, Alison Keir and Peter, for your super chats today. Thank you for being a member for 22 months as well. Alison Keir, really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll see you guys tonight at 8 o'clock if you can join me for that. But just before you head out, if you can for me, please hit that like button. Be greatly appreciated. Share this across social media. Do consider subscribing to the channel. Check out there's lots of other content on the home tab. You can find out there. Links for all my are in the description as well. You can check out Rumble and Patreon. There's exclusive content on both those platforms. Content has dropped today. Today, literally dropped 12 o'clock on Rumble and Patreon. So do check out the content on them. And I'll be recording content for the rest of the week on Rumble and Patreon as well. So do check out them as well. And there'll be some polls dropping throughout the week as well on the community tab if you guys are interested in taking part in them as well. But thank you all so much for watching. And I hope to catch you all very, very soon.